My name is Ryan Graham, and my presentation is on exploring biblical theology's compatibility with the theory of evolution. So, I think an important part of writing the essay is I want to establish a scope of what the essay would include and what it would not include. So, I wanted to start with um, I wanted to explore the different biblical interpretations and determine if they're compatible with evolution theory. And if they are or aren't compatible, I want to find out why and if they have any common ground. So as for what this paper does not include, this isn't another evolution versus creationism paper because there's already a ton of those out there. Um, and I'm not arguing that any biblical interpretations or evolution theory are like right or wrong. I'm just determining like if they contradict each other and where they contradict. So before trying to compare and contrast evolution with the Bible, I wanted to dig in and find out what exactly evolution is and when it isn't. Um, So the process of evolution is the changes in species through reproduction, and this is normally a slow process, over time. Um, an example would be like an example of unnatural evolution would be like the different breeds of dogs that there are, like bulldog, like those are breeded selectively, by people to get those certain features, of the dogs, and that's something that you can see happening, every day. So as for evolution theory, um, that requires all of Earth's life have a single biological ancestor. So evolution theory argues that a long time ago there was a single simple organism, and through changes in through evolutionary biological changes over a long period of time, that single organism eventually became the variety of life that we have today. And the final part you can see here is evolution theory is scientifically validated. And I'm not arguing for evolution theory as stated in my scope, but I think that's a key part of the theory's identity is that it's supported by most of the scientific community. So moving on to literalist creationism, this is the biblical interpretation that Genesis and in other parts of the Bible are the literal word for word um, account of what happened. So, like it says in Genesis, God literalist creation claims that God created the earth, plants, animals, and humankind over approximately a 6-day period. And it says that he reserved, the seventh day for rest. And you can see in the verse here that is Genesis 1 through 21 that it describes creationism. So the next key factor of literalist creationism is that life is intelligently designed. And you can see that here in Genesis 1:27, where God creates man. It says that he created him after his own image. So that indicates that God, an intelligent being, designed man. And the next important part, so not all literalist creationists believe this, but those deemed young Earth creationists believe that the Earth is approximately 10,000 years old. It's between 6 to 10,000 years is the range there. Okay, so now looking at how literalist creationism meshes with evolution. Um, so the first thing is they do contradict each other on the number of life forms. So literalist creationism argues that God directly created the plants, animals, birds, and humans. So that indicates, multiple original life forms. Whereas evolution theory says that there was only one, and everything, evolved from that. So right there is a contradiction. Next, there's also a contradiction on life's design. So, evolution theory claims that life doesn't have a design, instead, that the variety is through iterative biological changes that happen slowly over time. Whereas, again, literalist creationism says that God, created life intelligently. The next thing, so this is only with young Earth creationists, but evolution theory requires a drastically over Earth, like billions of years old. So there's also a contradiction there, because young Earth, creationism requires an Earth that is, between 6 and 10,000 years. So those are the three, main contradictions that I discovered in my research between literalist creationism and evolution theory. So next we have allegorical creationism. So this is primarily held by those in the Catholic and Protestant religions. As for day to day, it is the same in practice as literalist creationism. So besides the actual creation, um, these religions still interpret most of the Bible as the truth. And then next up, yeah, you can see here they interpret aspects of the Bible metaphorically, not all of it, but it focuses on the universe and life's creation in the Bible's book of Genesis. But they still interpret other like key aspects like God's divine nature, and those they interpret as the literal truth. So, as for allegorical creationism's compatibility with evolution, um, due to the interpretation's metaphorical nature, symbolic nature, I could not find any actual, factual or direct contradictions between it and evolution theory. Um, and you can see here that over 70% of American Catholics who, both believe in allegorical creationism and evolution theory at the same time. And I think this is a great quote from Pope Francis. The evolution in nature is not opposed to the notion of creation, because evolution presupposes the creation of beings that evolve. So I think this is a great, thing that Pope Francis points out, and it's that evolution theory doesn't it doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the origins of the universe, and it requires a lot of things to go right for evolution to even be possible. So that's where Pope Francis says that, hey, like, there has to be a universe, and and evolution requires there to be a universe with laws and things that allow evolution to exist. So the universe had to be created. And it looks like that's what Pope Francis is arguing, which is, I just thought it was a great quote to include. Okay, so here we have a conclusion, which is just a restatement of what we've gone through. So evolution theory, it's scientifically supported and verified by evidence, and it claims that the Earth's life came from a single simple organism. Through the process of evolution, that single organism changed. Its offspring changed into the variety of different life we have today. And on the other hand, we have literalist creationism, and that argues that the Earth's different kinds of life were created by God directly, and it was found to contradict evolution theory on multiple points. Next, we have allegorical creationism, and it interprets some aspects of the Bible metaphorically, such as Earth and life's creation, found in the book of Genesis, and this was found not to contradict evolution theory. So overall, since evolution theory is compatible with some biblical interpretations, one can simultaneously believe in the biblical God and evolution theory. They were found to not be mutually exclusive, which I think that's the key point of what I wanted to explore. Is is evolution mutually exclusive with the Bible? Like, can you believe God and evolution? And like as I discovered, that it is possible to believe in both. So here we have my references, and you can see all the links here. So anything you wanna fact check, you can just go to my source here. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found my topic useful, maybe somewhat enlightening.